43. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
I want to see the kind of industries that are opening up.
This is Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone, where your business matters. Local Biz Now.
You have to determine what is working, what isn't working.
Joe Vagnone is a respected business broker, helping individuals buy and sell businesses. Joe has successfully owned and operated many companies in a variety of industries. This is Local Biz Now, because your business matters.
And you are listening to Local Biz Now, the number one talk business show in radio all in America. I'm sorry. The number one talk business radio show in all of North Carolina. We are coming to you live from the all-new Burner Cigar Studio, home of the finest premium cigars and cigar smokers in the world. Life is good at Burner Cigars, located in Birkdale Village. This week and every week, we want to start your week off inspired, informed, and entertained, because that's just what we do at News Talk WSIC 105.9 FM, 100.7 FM, and 1400 AM. And if you can't tell already, or if you can't see already, I am not Joe Vagnone, but I am Tracy Alston, his favorite co-host, and you are listening to Local Biz Now, where your business matters. I am super pumped about today's show. That was a mouthful to get out. Wanted to make sure we get Joe's introduction right of this show. But I am pumped for several reasons. The first reason is I am no stranger to WSIC Studios. This is the first time in the Burner Cigar Studios. It's an awesome setup here. So glad to be back. So honored to be a host on today's show. But I was a WSIC host of the Mental Fitness Matters show last year. So if you're tuning in, if you've heard that show before, know that it is coming back on all podcasting platforms in 2024. We will be back. Took a little break for the past year, but I'm excited to bring back Mental Fitness Matters. Another reason why I'm very excited is if you have been listening to this show, and if you listen regularly, then you know that December is the time of the month where Joe brings back his all-star co-host. So if you make it to December, consider yourself an all-star. And last week I had a chance to listen to the Local Biz Now show, and Patrick Reynolds and Cherie DeMayo were hosts on that show last week. And one of the interesting things that I heard them say is that they were the only two in Joe's 10-year history that ever had the chance to host the show without him. They were the only people in the history that had hosted the show without him. So we're going to consider ourselves very lucky. We're going to add ourselves to this list. I am here in the studio with the amazing Nicole Greer, and we are now a part of this short and trusted list of hosts for Joe on the Local Biz Now show. So let me go ahead and introduce Nicole. Welcome to the show. So good to see you again. Nicole is an executive coach, consultant, and recruiter of Vibrant Coaching and Consulting, where she's all about helping companies build cultures of happy people working to their full potential. So good to see you. So excited and honored to share this space with you. If you could just give us an update about who you are, tell us a little bit about Vibrant Consulting. So good to see you.
Yeah, I'm delighted to be here. So again, my name is Nicole Greer. I love this area. I'm born in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is rare. So I'm a local girl on Local Biz Now. So I am just right in the right place, doing all the right things. My company, I help people build a vibrant culture. And so, like, what does that mean? So I think that a group of people who come together to do a business venture, a nonprofit, work in government, a faith-based environment, they need to be lit from within. So they need to be on fire. That's what I think. And so I help people get on fire. I help them get lit.
That is awesome. I love that. Tell us what LIT means. I love that. I know that's probably an acronym for something. What is LIT?
Yeah. So leaders have to lead with clarity. You know, I don't know if you've ever been working somewhere before, Tracy, where you're like, where are we going? Why are we doing this? Yeah. I'm not, should we do,
Yeah.
And so it's like when the employees don't know what's going on, we have a problem, right?
Yeah.
So here's what I do know, though. If a leader says, here's what our vision is, here's where we're going, and they know what the mission is, and they understand their part in that process, then they're like, okay, I know exactly what to do. And then what happens is people turn on the inside. It turns on their passions, their motivations. They get to put their skills to work. More importantly, maybe even put their unique ability to work.
Yes.
And then work isn't a 4-letter word anymore. It's a 3-letter word, which is fun. And so we can go from 4-letter words to 3-letter words. So lit is lead with clarity. So I'd love to talk about the difference between mission and vision, or if you want to.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Okay.
We'll have plenty of time to get into that because I think it's so important to lead with clarity and to be lit and to have fun. And when you think about leaders in the space, I am so excited that we get a chance to do this show today. Kind of very excited that we get a chance to do it without Joe today because we're going to have some space and room to talk about what an amazing leader he is in the communities that he serves, the ability that for us small business owners and entrepreneurs, we get a chance to be in spaces and get known about and recognized because of this show.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about some things that keep us lit in terms of leadership, but also ways to have fun. And so there's a part of December where if you've kind of, like I said, tuned into this show before, you know Joe spends some of December really recognizing some just holiday questions or holiday themes and things of that nature, making it very fun. What I want to do and what I have done, I've used the amazing Julie. So Julie, hey, good to see you. Good to connect with you. I sent you a message last week when we found out we were going to be doing this show without Joe. And just so you know, Joe is somewhere very special right now. He's spending time with family. His nephew has a championship game, so I'm hoping that's going well. Go for it. I hope they win. But Joe is spending time with family right now. And so when we found out we would be doing this show without Joe, I was like, you know what? Joe is always spending time celebrating and having some holiday cheer, but let's celebrate him. And so Julie was able to send out an email to a couple folks that we wanted to get some feedback and some information about how Joe has made an impact in their lives. So a lot of the co-hosts that have been here, he's made an impact. Everybody has a Joe story. So he's made an impact in some way, shape, or form. So I want to spend some time talking about how he's done that, what we appreciate about him, and ways that we want to just send him off with some holiday cheer and give him his flowers while he's still here. He's been doing a lot of good work for a lot of us. I want to spend some time doing that. And so we won't do that right now, but I want you to be able to save what you were talking about with lit to later on into the show. But I want to get us geared up for, instead of coming back from the break when we do with some holiday questions, we're going to spend some time because Julie was able to send out some emails and we got some good people to respond about some ways that Joe has made an impact in their lives. Before we get there, I would also like to share, just in case you guys are tuning in for the very first time seeing myself or Nicole, just give you a little bit of background about myself. I am a licensed clinical mental health therapist located in Mooresville, North Carolina. I have a company called New Mentality and Mental Edge Fitness Solutions. And so when we get into the Joe stories about how we've connected with Joe, I have a really cool conversation about how Joe and I's connection has been made. He considers me his mentee. So we're going to talk about that a little bit and getting into the radio. But I'm excited about today's show and we're going to have some fun. So we're going to head to break. And when we come back from break, what I would like for you to do, Nicole,
All right.
is to share your story about how you and Joe got connected, but also share some of your story about ways Joe has made an impact in your life, in your business, in your family. If that sounds good.
Okay, that sounds fantastic.
All right, guys. If you are listening to WSIC, you already know what it is. Your business matters. We'll be right back from break.
More Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone is coming up on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. From December 24th through January 1st, WSIC will be playing Christmas music all day. And we can't forget about the last few Panthers games of the season. See you in 2024. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and cheers to the new year from all of us at WSIC. Celebrate Kane Center for the Arts' first anniversary gala, along with Broadway star Mandy Gonzalez. Dinner and a show, January 6th at Kane Center for the Arts. You may remember Mandy Gonzalez from her roles in Hamilton and Wicked. This is a black tie optional celebration. All-inclusive tickets include dinner and the show. Happy anniversary, Kane Center. Visit kanearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Want to see more than 5 million Christmas lights at one time? Speedway Christmas is back. Happening daily, the amazing Speedway Christmas at Charlotte Motor Speedway is happening now through January 7th. The show is open 6 to 10 p.m., rain or shine. The infield Christmas Village is open Thursday through Sunday nights. Speedway Christmas at Charlotte Motor Speedway, now through January 7th. For tickets, visit charlottemotorspeedway.com. Santa is here. Schedule your time to take pictures between now and Christmas Eve in Birkdale. Appointments include Time with Santa and 8 digital images from the professional photographer. For more info and to schedule your time with Santa, visit birkdalevillage.com. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
And now look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Sunny skies today, highs near 53 degrees. Wind gusts hanging around all day, 25 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear skies with lows around 25 degrees. Still windy overnight, 30 miles per hour wind gusts. And your Tuesday, sunny skies, highs near 43. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Compelling talk for your sleigh. WSIC.
Now more Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
And we are back. You are listening to Local Biz Now, the #1 talk business show in all of North Carolina. We are coming to you live from the all-new Burner Cigar Studio. Life is good at Burner Cigars, located in Birkdale Village, home of the finest premium cigars and cigar smokers in the world. Make sure that when you guys are in Cornelius area, stop by the Burner Cigar Joint and make sure you let them know that your first cigar is on Joe. All right? Make sure you let them know your first cigar is on Joe. He might take 2, but I won't say that out loud. Let me just stick with the one. He said his first one's on him. So make sure you guys stop by there. Some great people. He's really into that holiday spirit, so make sure you stop by and say Joe sent you. We are back, and I am sitting here with Nicole Greer, the vibrant Nicole Greer.
That's exactly right.
And we're just having some fun today, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love filling in and taking over Joe's territory. This is fantastic for us.
Yes, it is. It is very fantastic for us. And when we left off from break, we were just talking about how we wanted to get into this next segment with really showing some appreciation, but sharing our stories, number one, on how we got connected with Joe, but also the impact that he continues to make for small business owners, entrepreneurs, and so many people in our community. And the first thing we want to do is give thanks to the amazing Julie. Everybody needs a Julie. I think you guys need to get some merch, okay? We should have Local Biz Now, hashtag Local Biz Now, but we need hashtag Everybody Needs a Julie. That would sell. I would buy mine right now. I know Patrick Reynolds is watching. He would put his on right now. We need that shirt, right?
100%. We do.
We do. Everybody needs a Julie. Nicole, share with us. Tell us a little bit about your Joe story. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, so I was up in Statesville, North Carolina, doing a leadership program for the Chamber of Commerce, and I had the privilege and the honor of having Julie in the leadership class, and she experienced me, and we did all sorts of training and leadership development together, and I think she went back and said, Joe, you got to meet Nicole Greer. And so Joe is a very good listener. And so he said, okay. And so we met up, and then, you know, I was on the show, and I've been on the show several times. I'm really grateful for that opportunity to showcase what I do. So I have to give all the props to Julie. So I'll buy a T-shirt, a hat, and a keychain. I'll buy it all.
Sign us up. You guys need to really make that. We're all in. That's awesome. So those leadership classes must have worked out good, because she is leading the charge when it comes to Joe and setting him up. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. What are some things would you say from all of the things that you have taken in from the experiences with Joe? Do you have anything in particular that you would say this made an impact in my life, in my business?
Well, I would say, the thing about being in business is first of all, you've got to make a sale, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, there is no business. In fact, I was talking to a young man and he's like, well, I'm the president of my company. And I said, well, you don't really have a company yet because you don't have any revenue.
Yeah.
Right now, you have an idea. Right. And so getting out there and marketing yourself. So I don't know anybody who's a better marketer than Joe Vagnone. And he brings his full self to the process, right?
Always.
And it's kind of unvarnished. This is Joe. This is what you get. And you just love, that he's so authentic, transparent, and such a connector. One of the things, I'm a member of the National Speakers Association. And so after I've been on the show a couple times, he's like, who do you know? And so many of my colleagues and peers have been guests on his show. So I would say the big
awesome.
lesson is you got to market. You've got to kind of be a selfless, shameless promoter, of yourself, of your product. You got to get out there. You got to network. And you got to be somebody who can refer somebody else, like we all got to take care of each other. So, I got to refer you to my clients and you refer me to your clients.
Absolutely.
There's enough business to go around for everybody. We need to help each other.
Absolutely.
That's the lesson.
I love that. And small businesses make the world go round. So as you're talking about connecting and working together and promoting one another, that's very, very important.
100%.
Very, very important. And in case you guys don't know, why Local Biz Now is the #1 talk business show in North Carolina, like Joe would say, business show. Just a couple stats. He's going on 10 years strong. I think it might be 11 years now. He's going on 10 to 11 years strong, well over 800 small business owners and community leaders interviewed, well over 575 videos of interviews that are on the tube. So whether that's Facebook, YouTube, he's all over the place. So as you're talking about marketing and getting the word out, Joe has really been a leader, pioneer in this space, but also bringing opportunities so that we can actually get in front of people as well, which is really, really huge. So all those numbers in counting. So make sure, guys, if you have not already subscribed to Local Biz Now on those platforms, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, I think he might be in some podcasting stations now too. So just make sure wherever you can find Local Biz Now, you push subscribe, continue to support and share all of the amazing things that he's doing. And like I mentioned, reached out to Julie because everyone needs a Julie. And she was able to connect with a couple people for us to share their stories about how Joe has made an impact in their lives. So I just want to take a moment. I'm going to sprinkle this throughout the show.
Do it.
But want to take a moment for us to kind of just hear from some other people. The very first one is who they call their #1. She was the first one to respond. Cherie DeMayo, she's the founder of Biz Growth. She said what she appreciates most about Joe is his love of all small businesses and making connections for business with other small businesses. He not only does this on the radio show, but also does this every day in the connections he makes to help businesses thrive. He shares my belief that small business is the economic vitality of any marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
It's something like we just said.
That's right. It was just a little ditto, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We all feel the same way. I'm going to read one more during this segment. It's from my guy, Patrick Reynolds. Just love, love, love him. Patrick, giving you a big hug right now. He's a professional speaker, host, and MC. Joe likes to call him Patrick Kardashian because everybody knows Patrick.
I hadn't heard that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Patrick Kardashian. Some of the things that Patrick had to say about you, Joe. So make sure Joe, you're going to have to go back and listen to this episode a couple times, my friend. Okay. So just take time
I don't
now.
know if we want to encourage.
Get that head a little bit bigger here. You got some love coming your way, buddy. So make sure you take this all in. You might not get this next year, so take it in now. Okay. Joe has given me a platform to be on air and give my name valuable exposure. Local Biz Now is somewhat of a long-term class. Small business lessons are given week by week and built brick by brick. Joe's interviews with business owners give insight to success paths and what to avoid. Being on air with WSIC and Joe has provided me with extra connection into the community. I network in person a lot. Being on air with Joe connects me with thousands more than I could ever reach in person. And last but not least, Joe has taught me the value of myself. Much conversation has centered around service and product value, but I was undervaluing myself. He has me looking at me for that alone. Thank you, Joe. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Patrick, he's also a member of the National Speakers Association, and I have hung out with him on several occasions, and I know that that is heartfelt, what you just read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely feel that in the way he wrote it. And so to speak to that just a little bit, Nicole, because you talked too about in terms of leadership and being able to kind of have to do some shameless plugging for yourself and really being your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs, that's a hard thing to do, especially depending on where you come from, what's your service, but you really have to get used to being your number one fan. Speak to that as it relates to the work you do, and how do you help people get there?
Well, number one thing is, like I said, with the LIT acronym, the L is lead with clarity, then the I is integrate integrity, and then the T is transform the ordinary. But I'll just go back to leading with clarity and the idea of having a vision and a mission. So one thing I think leaders need to do is they need to have not only a vision and a mission for their organization, but you should have a personal one. And so that's the thing. A lot of people, I don't think people are an accident. Everybody that pops on the planet, there's a purpose for your life. Yeah. And I don't want to sound too soft, because that is a really hard thing to figure out your mission. So one of the things I help leaders do is figure out their personal mission statement for work and life. So Patrick has found his mission. He is supposed to get up in front of people and speak and inspire and motivate. And so once you find that, it doesn't matter kind of how you feel, because it's almost like you've steeled yourself from the inside out. No, this is the mission I'm on. And of course, every hero that's on their journey is going to have moments of despair and unsure, I'm unsure what I'm doing. I'm unsure, what the next thing I should do is. But if you call yourself back to your mission statement. So personally, Nicole Greer is on a mission to energize, influence, and energize. Let me say it again: influence, energize, and impact people to lead a vibrant life through engaging what is possible and making it probable. Okay, so that might just sound like a jumble of words, especially how I said it.
It's all good.
but here is the thing. When I feel like, oh my gosh, I have to get up, I have this full day, I'm gonna have to power through this. I just remember, no, I was born to bring this into the world. There's a gal that runs around the Charlotte area, and she is a professional organizer. And when I first met her, she was kind of unsure what she wanted to do with her life. Like a lot of ladies, she had a career, then she stayed home for a while, raised children. I talked to her about what her unique ability is, and she's like, "Well, I'm really good at organizing things." Well, as we talked about it, I was like, "Well, there's this whole thing called certified professional organizer," and so she investigated it. She found her way, and now she is doing amazing things with people who are seniors, who are having to move from their home into assisted living. So she's organizing them into their new space. Long story short, she came up with her mission statement, which is so beautiful, which is restore simplicity.
Wow.
So when she's in a messy situation trying to get grandpa moved to his assisted living, she just says, this is challenging, but I'm on a mission to restore simplicity. So I think having a personal mission statement is big.
I love that. And we're going to have to go to break in a few seconds, but we're going to come back and we're going to jump right back into that, because as you're talking about developing that personal mission statement, making sure that's aligned with who you are, let's go a little deeper there, because I'm wondering for some people, if they haven't found that, and how did they get there?
Yeah.
How do we speak to that self-talk and that voice that may be keeping us from our aligned passions? All right.
I'd love that.
Thank you so much. We are listening to Local Biz Now, and I'm here with Nicole Greer, and we will be right back. And if it's Monday afternoon, your business matters. We'll be right back.
Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone will return after this short break on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Thinking of a truck? Think Sierra, a GMC Sierra, and Black Automotive is where you find it. No matter where you're heading or what task you're tackling, there's a premium capable Sierra 1500 that's perfect for you. Now you can take $7,000 off the Sierra 1500 crew cab models with a 5.3 motor, or you can take 1.9% interest for 36 months. Take the 2023 GMC Terrain for a test drive and just see what you're missing. It's a wonderful SUV, and you'll love this one. Now take $4,000 off the 2023 GMC Terrain or your choice of 1.9% interest for 36 months. Choose the 2023 Canyon Elevation, $2,000 off. And if a pre-owned is more in your budget, see the mile-long inventory of trucks and cars. See Black Automotive, the Greater Car Trader, home of Buick, GMC, Dodge, Jeep, Dodge Ram, and so much more. Iredell County's most preferred dealer, Black Automotive, Salisbury Road, Statesville, just off I-77.
And now look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Sunny skies today, highs near 53 degrees. Wind gusts hanging around all day, 25 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear skies with lows around 25 degrees. Still windy overnight, 30 miles per hour wind gusts. And your Tuesday, sunny skies, highs near 43. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Fall is here, and Little Shavers has the supplies you need. Meat straw, pine needle, grass seed, pelletized line, landscape edging, and railroad cross ties. Got a deck that needs staining? Little Shavers has PPG paints and stains at prices you can afford. Fall is a great time to replace your furnace filters at Little Shavers. Get the products you need at reasonable prices from Little Shavers, 3301 Salisbury Road in Statesville.
If you need home medical equipment, call Lowry Drug in Statesville. We have everything you need in stock, including portable oxygen concentrators, CPAPs, masks, lift chairs, wheelchairs, scooters, hospital beds, supplies, and anything else you need. Get it when you need it. Check out LowryDrug.com or call 704-873-2247. Lowry Drug, your hometown source since 1959, across from Iredell Memorial Hospital. We are worth the drive. Come see us.
Americans love using their credit cards because they're secure and convenient. But politicians in D.C. are trying to pass a law that will jeopardize your credit card's data security and rewards benefits. Thankfully, Congressman Patrick McHenry is taking a stand and fighting back to oppose this law. Tell Congressman McHenry thank you for protecting our data security and opposing.
It's Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Let's go ahead and fire up that commercial.
From rescuing lives to rescuing your senses, I'm Josh Johnson, and Burner Cigar is a go-to escape for relaxation. Let the aroma and flavor of our cigars rescue your senses from the everyday hustle. Experience a new level of unwind.
And we are back. You are listening to Local Biz Now, where you're... Actually, you know what?
What?
Nicole, I want you to say this. We're listening to Local Biz Now, where...
Your business matters.
Boom! Burner Cigar, guys. Burner Cigar. Make sure you go by Burners, check them out. And remember, when you walk in, say, hey, Joe sent me. He said the first one is on Joe. So make sure you stop by Burners. Hop in there, let them know that Joe sent you. Before we took a break, we were in the process of talking about leading in clarity. You know, really leading in clarity, finding that mission, finding that purpose, making sure that what we're doing aligns with that. And Patrick had said something really awesome about Joe in terms of helping him in valuing himself more. And Nicole, I want to spend a little time here because for myself, as a licensed clinical mental health therapist, as somebody who works with mindset and performance day in and day out, that inner critic of our brain, that self-talk, what we say to ourselves, it matters. This is the game changer. So help us spend a little bit more time as you think about the work that you do and the spaces that you hold and the coaching that you do. What are you seeing? But what helps people really tap into understanding how that self-talk can be holding you back or pushing you forward, but really diving into a place and space where they can really get clarity on their mission?
Yeah. So self-talk is absolutely huge. And so there's a couple of things that you need to do. So to integrate integrity, into your life, which is the I in my LIT methodology for leaders, you've got to be very strong about what you believe. So one of the things you've got to do is you've got to figure out, what do I believe? So like I said, I mean, I believe people were born on purpose, and they are got to figure out their mission before they pop off the planet. The whole reason the world is a hot mess is not everybody's on their mission, and we got to get on mission. So I believe that. Then you have to believe, you have to figure out, what your skills, your talents. I've mentioned this will be the third time, your unique ability. And then you got to put that to work in the world. And so a big part of your self-talk is what you believe. Now, the other thing I think is so important about self-talk is that you've got to recognize what's called your gremlins, right? So when I went through my coaching program back in 2007, in the way back, they made me read this little book by Rick Carson. I highly recommend it. It's called Taming Your Gremlins. Yeah. And so one of the things you've got to do is you've got to recognize when that voice is on in your head, and then you've got to stop. You've got to address the gremlin. So in Rick's book, he says, identify who the gremlin is, name the gremlin. You might have more than one gremlin. And then you have to invite your gremlin to go out in the traffic and play. And so, for example, one of my gremlins is, I named her Butterball. And so Butterball is a little short, round, fat girl that lives inside my head that says, you're not, I mean, I'm 58 years old, but still, like, you're not pretty enough, you're not good enough, all this stuff. I mean, she's been in my head a long time. But when I recognize her, I'm like, girl, you got to go play in the traffic, right? And so you've got to address these little gremlins that are in your head and invite them to be dismissed, right? And then revert back to your beliefs. So there's a little formula that I got from another coach, and I love tools, and I find them and I try to share them. So her name is Brooke Castillo, so check her out on the YouTube and all the places. But she has a little formula, and it's CTFAR. And so if you notice that Butterball or whatever your gremlin's name is talking to you, you sit still and you can do a little self-coaching moment. So the C stands for circumstances, like what is going on right now. So without telling yourself any lies or adding to this, any flavor, just write down, this is what's going on, and this is what triggered this thing in my brain. So just write down the facts of the situation. So then you think to yourself, what is the thought that is going through my mind? And see, that could be the negative self-talk. So the thought could be you're old and fat and nobody's going to hire you to do coaching, or whatever the thought is, right? Yeah. Okay. So then the next thing is when I think that thought, what feeling happens? Because our thoughts and our feelings go together like peanut butter and jelly. You cannot separate them. They are attached. Yep. Okay. So the feeling is like sadness or depression, right? And so then the next thing is action. So if I have a feeling of sadness, what is my action? I mean, I pout, I put my head down, I medicate myself with ice cream, and then what result do I get? Then I'm, you actually are getting fatter, and you whatever the deal is, right? So, you go through that and you get direction, but then you say to yourself, okay, here are the circumstances again, without any kind of, get out there, tell the world what you can do, right? And so that's my action. And what result might I get? Oh, I might get a client. I might get an opportunity. Right? So that's called reframing, which is a very basic coaching thing. I'm sure that shows up in the work that you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's how you get the gremlin out, is you got to get reframed.
I like that. And what I love about this tool is that you can begin to apply it in everyday life. And I love the part about the circumstances, what's going on in our thoughts. And so in case you guys didn't know, we have between 50,000 and 70,000 thoughts per day. That's a lot of thoughts. Yeah. And majority of our thoughts are negative in nature, or the same thoughts that we had yesterday. So think about that. Think about if this gremlin was always telling us about what we're not doing, what we're not capable of, how I failed last week, how I failed last year, this can keep us stuck.
Amen.
And so this tool, CTFAR, circumstances, thoughts, feelings, action, result, can really be something that can be laid out, written out, and applied in a way that it's not about if it comes up. When it comes up, I now have an actionable tool that I can grab a hold of and identify what is the circumstance, what are my current thoughts, but what do I want them to be? Then how do I feel about that? So this is a daily practice, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, or hourly, depending on your
Yeah.
state. Yeah.
Exactly.
And the other thing too is, I don't know about you, but I've got other people in my life that are having
Right.
bad thoughts and bad self-talk, and and here's the thing about leadership, the whole thing about integrating integrity. You have to call people to a higher place to be more whole, to be more complete. And so this is something my daddy would say. I bet you had a daddy that said things like this. He said, I don't know, but I think that's stinking thinking. Like, I would say something. He'd be like, come here. That is the worst thing I've ever heard you say.
My dad is actually watching this right now. Hey, Pops. And he was he was a great mindset shifter. He was always like, that he would read the book, The Little Engine That Could. I think I can. I think I could. I think I can. Turned into I know I can. I know I can.
Right.
I know I can. So continue with that stinking thinking.
Yeah, so that's what my daddy would say. That is stinking thinking. Get your head in the game. He was like a snap out of it guy.
Yeah.
But you need to help other people do that too.
Absolutely.
So I help. My child will come to me. She's 23 years old. Her name's Katie Pie. She's not listening. Hello, Katie Pie. We'll have you watch the YouTube. Anyway, so she's going to school right now to become a doctor of physical therapy. Like she is worn out. Like because you studied for all the exams and the things, and so she'll just get in a weird place. And I'll say, okay, tell me exactly what's going on, and then just say, what is the thought that's going through your head? And so I can just take her through the whole thing, and I say, what's a new thought you could put in your head? And like at first she's like, Mom, don't do that. Don't coach me like that. And I'm like, no, really.
Yeah.
What is a new thought you can put in your head? Because you become what you think.
Absolutely. And think about if you don't have somebody bringing you back off that ledge. Think about if you're left with your own devices in terms of going down that rabbit hole all by yourself.
Yeah.
So having something that you can put in your space or in your place, the CTFAR, and I'm continuing to say this because repetition helps.
Yeah.
When we think about how we train the brain, there's some ways that you can literally start retraining it. Just keep saying it. CTFAR, circumstances, your thoughts, feelings, action, result. So having tools that you can grab from to say, you know what? Pause. This is not the route that I want to go down.
Right.
I want to feel a different way. So what can I put in place right now to help me get there? Do you think tools like this help people as you've done your work and the experience that you're in? I love how you're starting off with helping people identify their mission, because that's a foundational thing. That's a core thing. And I don't think it's something that as we grow through life that we know coming out of the womb, right? It continues to evolve, and so I love kind of being able to kind of reset, reframe, because that might also help us get closer to who we truly are and what we're called to do.
Yeah, 100%. And I can't tell you how many people I've coached that, wake up and they're 40, 45, 50 years old and they're like, I don't want to be a CPA anymore, or whatever it is. And see, they got really good advice from my dad and pops, some person like that in their life that said, get a good job, go to college, get a good job, whatever. You're good at math.
Yeah.
You should be a CPA, whereas, really that person wants to be entrepreneurial.
Right.
Or they want to make pottery, whatever it is.
Exactly.
But, if you know how to work the money, you could make a pottery business, go to town.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. We're going to take another break. Before we do, let me read one of Jim Vogel's, the founder of I Am Social Media. He said, the lake would not be the lake without Joe. He does so much for the community and is a true fan of our small businesses. Even when he thinks he is funny, he honestly is. I appreciate his friendship. That's from Jim Vogel. You are listening to WSIC, Local Biz Now. And if it's Monday, your business matters. Nicole and I will be right back.
There's more Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone on the way from the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. From December 24th through January 1st, WSIC will be playing Christmas music all day. And we can't forget about the last few Panthers games of the season. See you in 2024. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and cheers to the new year from all of us at WSIC. Celebrate Kane Center for the Arts' first anniversary gala, along with Broadway star Mandy Gonzalez. Dinner and a show, January 6th at Kane Center for the Arts. You may remember Mandy Gonzalez from her roles in Hamilton and Wicked. This is a black tie optional celebration. All-inclusive tickets include dinner and the show. Happy anniversary, Kane Center. Visit kanearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Want to see more than 5 million Christmas lights at one time? Speedway Christmas is back. Happening daily, the amazing Speedway Christmas at Charlotte Motor Speedway is happening now through January 7th. The show is open 6 to 10 p.m., rain or shine. The infield Christmas Village is open Thursday through Sunday nights. Speedway Christmas at Charlotte Motor Speedway, now through January 7th. For tickets, visit charlottemotorspeedway.com. Santa is here. Schedule your time to take pictures between now and Christmas Eve in Birkdale. Appointments include time with Santa and 8 digital images from the professional photographer. For more info and to schedule your time with Santa, visit birkdalevillage.com. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
And now look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Sunny skies today, highs near 53 degrees. Wind gusts hanging around all day, 25 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear skies with lows around 25 degrees. Still windy overnight, 30 miles per hour wind gusts. And your Tuesday, sunny skies, highs near 43. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Santa says, stay informed with the best talk from WSIC.
Call now to speak with Joe Vagnone at 844-STUDIO-4. It's Local Biz Now on WSIC.
And we are back. You are listening to Local Biz Now, and if it's Monday,
your business matters.
Yes, I am here with the vibrant and amazing Nicole Greer. We are talking all things about being and becoming lit. Lead with clarity, integrity, and transform the ordinary. I love every piece of that. We have really been diving more into the mindset, really understanding who we are, getting into that mission statement and really kind of connecting with that in every part of our life. And there was a part of the show that we've been doing, really trying to highlight some really cool comments and ways that we as small business owners and entrepreneurs really love and appreciate Joe. I have one more that I want to read here from my guy, Chris Villani. He's a performance strategist. He said, over the years, I have had the privilege of spending time with Joe. Whether it was on the show as a co-host interviewing guests or a great conversation with cigar and whiskey. The one thing that stands out about Joe is his experience as a businessman and his passion to help others grow. His superpower is understanding what it takes to own, buy, and sell a business is unmatched. But what really stands out to me about Joe, his big heart, his love for helping others succeed, and his friendship. Keep up the amazing journey, my friend. Thank you so much, Chris. And when I heard that, Nicole, I think that segues us. I want to learn a little bit more about this I for lit. It's integrity. Joe has integrity with any and everything that he touches, which has been really good about the community and how we're growing and expanding. Talk a little bit about the I.
Yeah, so it's integrating integrity. And so here's the thing about integrity is if I had like a whole room full of people and I said to them, are you all men and women of integrity? Everybody would be like, well, yes, I am, of course. And I would say, no, you're not. And they would be offended. Okay. And
how dare you?
How dare you say such a thing? But here's the thing. Integrity means you're 100% whole, right? Like it's like back in algebra, we had integers, which means a whole number, no fraction, no decimal point hanging off or underneath, right? So integrity is something that we oftentimes assume we're moving in and living in. But here's the truth is that we have a lot of work we can do on the quality of our character. So character and integrity are kind of synonymous, right? And so one of the tools that I use, again, in my toolbox when I'm working with people is this thing called the True Tilt Profile. And it is an assessment that, looks at your personality, but then on top of it, it says, you've got to have a set of character traits that helps you manage your personality. So like when you popped on the planet, you had a mission and you had a little personality. If I had Pops here in this empty chair right here, I'd be like, tell me about Tracy when she was little. And he would be like, how much time do you have? And so, he would be like, she's been like this her whole life. Okay. Well, here's the thing is, your personality is two sides of one coin. There's that most beautiful you personality when you're turned on, you're lit, you're trying your hardest, you're on mission, and you're paying attention to the quality of your character. And then there's the part where like you're not 100% whole. So, I often tell people, usually when people misbehave, especially like your coworkers or your employees, there's usually one of four things going on. And I use the acronym there, HALT. So people are hungry, and it could be for food, but it could also be hungry for opportunity, hungry to voice themselves. There's a lot of things people are hungry to do, and they don't have anything to satisfy that, and so they act out. The other thing people get is angry. I do not like this. I am upset about this.
Angry.
Yeah, so I lose my integrity when I'm angry. Sometimes people feel lonely. I am doing this all by myself. I mean, have you ever thought that at work?
Yeah.
I am doing this all by nobody is helping me.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then I'm tired, right? Because I'm a human, and so I'm either tired of what's going on, or I'm literally tired. So people kind of lose it, right? So I'll give you an example. So I was working with a gentleman, and he was a really great salesperson, but like when he was not getting his way and he was angry, he went from self-assured, which is a positive character trait, right? Like, should you be self-assured if you're a salesperson? Say, yes, you need to go out and like sell things. Well, the minute he was angry about something or tired of not getting it his way, he would go overboard with his little personality, which was darling when he wanted it to be, but he would become arrogant. Right? So, we have a character trait, like people, I've had people tell me, Tracy, they'll be like, well, I'm just blunt. Okay, well, stop hitting people with your words. It's,
Right.
We don't appreciate it, I mean, now you can be straightforward, but you don't have to be blunt. Like, just think about it. Like, you hit me with a blunt object.
Yeah.
Right? So there's that balance of that. Now, there's a book out there. So I love to read.
Yeah.
All leaders read. And so there's a book out there called Return on Characters by Fred Keel. And you can read his book. I totally suggest it. But I'll tell you the bottom line. That companies, small businesses that have a character development program, like they focus on talking about what does it mean to be loyal? What does it mean to be self-assured? What does it mean to be courageous? What does it mean to be caring, right? Like talking about these things, they have 5 times return on assets.
Wow.
And so, and doesn't that just make perfect sense
absolutely.
to work on having a company full of people who are in integrity, because we're going to give better customer service.
Absolutely.
We're going to treat each other better teamwork, everything. So that's the I.
I love that. And again, another thing that you can begin to apply to assess where you are and to make some change in real time.
Yeah.
And I think I love how the HALT acronym, I like that. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired, all of these things impact who we are, impact our performance, and they're all coming from different places, right? Like you said, I could be literally hungry, or I could be hungry for more, being starved in where you are. And so I think it's good to know and assess. How can people do that assessment, that true? How can they do that? I'm sorry, the tilt.
Yeah, they just call Nicole Greer, go to vibrantculture.com, and I'll set you up. Yeah, and you can take it, and I will tell you, it's helped me, in my career. I am a word person. I am an inspiration person. So the flip side of that is that I need to be more grounded. To balance my little personality out, I need to be more grounded. So like, what's your business plan? How do your numbers look? I mean, I have to work at those things, but they help me tilt myself back into balance, right? So all of us can kind of slip out of integrity because we have a preference to the way that we move in the world. But if you study character, pick a trait to work on, identify a behavior that will support that trait, you will become a much well-rounded, whole, integrated person.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's gold. Thank you for sharing that. And while we have time, let's talk about this T, transforming the ordinary. I like that, how it sounds. I want to learn a little bit more about what does that actually mean?
Yeah. So in business, you cannot be content. You cannot be, people don't like to hear this, but like you can be happy, but you can't be happy with where we're at.
Yeah.
The whole nature of business is growing, changing, transforming, doing something different. And so when you put an organization together, I think the number one thing that leaders need to do is they need to say, if you work here, we change things all the time. So people are like, people don't like to change. Well, don't hire those people because you will have a tough time in business because you have to change things. You have to change technology. You're all of a sudden your product is been trumped by another company.
Right.
You got to go back to R&D and figure out what it is you're going to sell. So there's all sorts of things you have to do. So transforming the ordinary. So when I say the ordinary, it's like, what do we got going on today? How can we make it better? And it's just inching out a little bit of performance every day. And I really believe in employee performance management. I go to a lot of companies and work inside companies. They do performance reviews once a year. In fact, it's that time of year.
Yeah.
It is that time of year. And people are like, oh, God, I got to do that. And it hurts my feelings to hear that because hear this, that employee, that is the one time a year that you're going to like talk to them about how they're doing.
Yeah.
This is very important
Yeah.
to an individual, right? So to transform this person, you really need to work with them, I think, at least every 2 weeks. You need to have a 5-minute conversation or an hour and 55 conversation with your employees, but you need to be checking in with them and paying attention and tweaking what they're doing. Now here's what I know. I bet, let me ask you this, Tracy. I already know the answer, but do you consider yourself an eagle or a turkey?
Eagle.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in your career coming up, all the things you've ever done, were you hungry for more, sought out opportunity, looked for things to do?
Yep.
That is really what, if you have an eagle on your team, they are like, what else can I go do?
Yeah.
And you need to have that conversation every 2 weeks to develop, improve, get them where they want to go. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to sit down with these people every 2 weeks. What are we going to talk about? It's because you're getting ready to go talk to a turkey, perhaps, that's going to give you pushback. And I'm content right where I am.
Yeah.
So we have to really have this thing of like, you come work here, you're not going to be ordinary. You're going to be extraordinary.
Love
right?
that. I love that. And I think even applying that, whether it's you're a business leader or just working on self-development and professional development, really having those moments and times where we're checking in with self, because oftentimes you can get so used to the day-to-day, the work. And if you don't have somebody over top of you asking these questions, what's that internal drive, internal inspiration that you have for yourself? And how do you keep that eagle thriving for self? Right?
That's exactly right. Well, I was telling you, I'm getting certified in yoga.
Yes.
I mean, like, I'm always finding something else that, I can add to the mix, and that'll make me turn my ordinary into extraordinary. Yeah. So we all need to be doing that.
Yes. Our time is just like literally flying by
Sad.
way too fast. We are coming down to the end of this show. Nicole, I am just so honored to be able to share and hold some space with you today. And we're so awesome. We get a chance to be on that short list of hosts. Joe, we love you. We appreciate you. I hope you felt some heartfelt messages from the people who shared. We can't say thank you enough for all that you do. You're 10 to 11 years strong. Keep going, keep building, keep bringing us together and giving us amazing guests that we can continue to learn from. Nicole, anything else before we go?
No, I'm just really grateful to be here, and I just want to say ditto to everything you just said. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you, Julie. We love you guys. And if it's WSIC and it's Monday, your business matters. We'll see y'all soon.
Happy holidays.